Hello everyone and welcome back to the Pottery Corner, my studio down on the south coast of England near Chichester. Welcome along everybody. Today we're doing another Glaze Kiln fire opening. The students are back with a vengeance in January and I shall soon be repacking the kiln with this biscuit load because there's just so much to get through. So let's get on with it. The kiln was cold earlier today, so I'm fine to open it. You know, come on, SPS, Sneaky Peek Sarah. We've already had the sneakiest of peaks, but only on the top level. And my, what a top level we have got for you today. So, kiln lid up. Okay, so the top piece is a big piece and quite a detailed project by Janet. And it is another of Janet's marvellous bird baths. So look at that. This has been made in white stoneware clay, earthstone Handbuilding clay, and has been glazed in underglazes and glaze. So some of it is underglaze and some of it is glaze, with turtles and fishes, as you can see, and a beautiful dragonfly, which I have to say I'm quite surprised that the dragonfly has come out, because I was worried that it was going to break off in the firing. However, those eagle-eyed of you will see that there is the tiniest of cracks, but only just on this section here. And I love this little troop of ladybirds around the edge. Looks like there's a little family of ladybirds going on a little walk, so that's rather lovely. And another big piece by Janet. She likes to give herself a challenge, so it's really beautiful, Janet. And the turtles inside are really pretty. They look really good. The painting on them's very good. The detail's very good. So, well done. Glazes on here, most, as I say, is underglaze. So the ladybirds and the fish are underglaze. But the blue in here is Amaco Sky. And the green on the edge is Amaco Emerald Falls. On the dragonfly body is Junebug. And on the dragonfly wings is Glacier. So the rest of it is underglazes. So well done, Janet. That's another beautiful piece from you. And another big piece for me safely through the kiln, which is always good. Right, let's take this first shelf out. We'll just pop that over onto Midge. Right, those of you who were watching last week will remember me talking about the collaboration that I'm going to do with Nicky from Willow Yoga, based in Reigate. So this is another of the basket bases. So if you missed last week's video, have a look at that, because I showed you the beautiful baskets that Nicky makes. And I'm hoping that in February that I shall go and she will sort of teach me how to do the actual basket weaving bit, and I shall give her some of the bases, and hopefully we'll have a nice little collaboration there. So this one, last week we were talking about the way I was propping them in the kiln, and actually this week I did put them onto a large cookie. So this is just clay that I've used out of the studio, rolled out with a little bit of texture, just because it stops the glaze from sticking to the bottom of the piece if it does run a little bit. But basically that has worked much better. There is not so much warping on this piece as there were on the ones that we unpacked last week. This is craft crank clay, so the more robust one that I use. And this glaze on here actually has come out really nicely, is Deep Olive Speckle, Amaco's Deep Olive Speckle. Although it's taken away some of the detail of the texture on this piece, I actually really like the colour. So happy days, quite happy with that one. And as the other Deep Olive Speckle one was damaged, I'm hoping that Nicky will like that one. So next shelf down, just watching the cookies on these, let's just pop that over there, is the other one. I was actually glazing at 6 o'clock in the morning because I had space in the kiln. You can never put a kiln on when it's not full. And this one actually is even nicer than the last one. So this one has got a feather stamp on it. So I've just used a feather stamp, and then what I've used on here is copper oxide on the feathers, which I've just wiped back so that it's nice and clean. And then over the top of that is Amaco's Aqua. So it almost looks clear, but it has just got a very slight green tinge to it. And that one I think is my favourite. And copper oxide, there is a video on the channel showing you how to use the oxide. So if you're not familiar with using oxides, do have a look at that video, and I'll put a link on the end for you. But that one I think is definitely, out of the four that we've had out of the kiln, that one's my favourite. What do you think? Pop it in the comments, let me know. Really like that one. That one's really pretty. So that was worth coming out at 6 o'clock in the morning to glaze and get in the kiln. Right, props out, and the cookie, and we have another shelf, which I think is the last shelf. Oh, careful. That out. Okay, right. Props out. Props out. Okay, now in here, this is a test tile. As you know, I'm obsessed with buying glazes. So this one is Jessica Putnam Phillips. This is called Jess's Lake Blue, and that is 3 coats of Jess's Lake Blue over the top of a textured tile. I do like to see how they perform on a textured tile. Actually, that's quite nice, and it's very similar to Amaco's Indigo Float. And I don't know whether, well, I do know because I see it on all of the Facebook clay groups, clay buddies, etc., that some people are struggling to get hold of Amaco, and I am no different. The supply chain for Amaco seems to be more than fluctuating. So sometimes we can get it, sometimes we can't. So I thought I would try Jessica Putnam Phillips brush on glazes. The texture is a little bit odd, but actually the results that I'm getting are good. So anybody who's having trouble getting hold of the Amaco glazes in England, there's a company called Blue Matchbox, which is based in Reading, and Grant is an absolute star. He's such a good chap, and he gets his stuff out really quickly, and he is supplying me with Jessica Putnam Phillips glazes. So take a look at those if you're having trouble with Amaco. I'm getting good results. So as I say, that one is Jess's Lake Blue, and that is 3 coats on there. So yeah, nice. What do you think? Nice, yeah. Pretty good, that one. Right, so what else is in the bottom of here? I hear you cry. I had some lovely girls come to the studio and do an impromptu throwing session with their mother. So Hannah, Charlotte and Liv, these are your pieces coming out of the kiln. And we had a great time with your mum, Sarah. Well, it's not Liv's mum, but with Sarah in the studio. And I've just finished their pieces off. They threw them. I did the trimming and the glazing. So these are their pieces. So Charlotte, this one is yours. Nice. They put some stamps in the base, which I thought was really nice, actually. Really makes them slightly different, doesn't it? So this in here is Amaco's Deep Sea on the texture, wiped back to just leave it in the stamp impression. And then the green glaze on the body is Amaco's Jade. And then I've dribbled some seaweed over the edge just to give it a bit of drippage. So that's seaweed on the edge. Very nice, lovely, nice combination, and a nice little bowl. I think this one is, yep, this one's yours as well, Charlotte. So this one we've made into a mug, a nice little fish motif in there, pretty. Again, I've used the Deep Sea to wipe back on there. The same glaze on that, which is Jade. And then we've used a bit of ancient Jasper on this one, and the Jasper has worked really nicely to give this lovely edge. So I just kind of spotted it on, and there's also some seaweed on there just to give it a little bit of interest. So That's a pretty little mug, and one of my kind of signature spiral handles on there. So that's lovely. This one I think is Hannah's. Yes, Hannah, this one's yours. So again, same theme. She's got a shell in the bottom, same glaze combination, deep sea on that wiped back in the bottom, Amaco's Jade and Seaweed and Ancient Jasper on the rim. And actually the dripping on that one's really pretty. It's done really well on both sides, on both the outer and the inner rim. Really pretty. Yep, lovely, goodie. We didn't make it overcomplicated on the glazing. This one is the same, but there's no seaweed on this one. So this is just Jasper on the rim of this one. So again, Amaco Jade and Deep Sea inside. And these are Lives. Oh, pretty. And again, that's the same with the Amaco Ancient Jasper on the rim. Very nice. Quite like that. And the last one is Lives. This one, I have to say, was a wonky throw, but she'd never done it before, so we'll let her off. But I mean, you know, she'll like to use that because she's made it herself. So again, same combination, Amaco's Jade with some Jasper just on the inside. And again, I've just put a spiral handle on there. So that's really lovely. Now, the last thing that's coming out of here was, I have to say, a bit of a tricky make. It's Lesley's piece. This is the lid of one section, so I'll just take that out carefully, make myself a bit of room to bring it out. So Lesley has been making a breakfast set, and indeed was here throwing today. So this is the base. I have to say, as I was saying, interesting make, and obviously this is the toast rack part of her breakfast set. We've had a warpage here. It's not really surprising to have that. So, you know, I did think that this might happen, but actually the other sections are fine. So you just won't be able to have quite as much toast, Lesley. So this has been made by Handbuilding. And the glaze combination, this is Marigold on here. This is Deep Olive Speckle, Iron Yellow and Jasper just on the rim of the bread. And then this little olive spread top just sits in there. With luck and a following wind, just about. Oh yes, it does fit. That's good. It does fit just. And Lesley has been making today the throne parts to go with this set. So she's making us some cereal bowls and a jug. So a nice piece, but unfortunately warpage, but I did think we'd probably get that. So that is your lot for today in the kiln. There's nothing else in there, so I'll pop that lid down. Just a couple of shout outs today. First of all, to Amanda Wilson. Amanda Wilson made me laugh this week. She's in New Zealand, which, as you know, is on the opposite side of the world to where we are. And she's clearly new to the channel, and I think she's watched most of the videos on the back catalogue. And it just made me laugh because she said it's nearly midnight here and I really should go and get some sleep, which I thought was funny because she's just been trawling through all my videos of all the clay tips and everything. So Amanda, thank you very much for ordering the Wonky Pot template and for watching the videos, and I hope you have fun making your wonky, and do make sure that you send me some pictures so that I can show people how you got on. And this one's from Donna Nancaro, and she is based in South Africa on the garden route. So, I mean, you know, as I say, people from miles and miles away from me watching the channel. It's just fantastic. Thank you so much. So she said that she's going to tackle the new year with renewed vigour. So that's a very good idea. She managed to make a wonky pot for her friend in time for Christmas. And she's glad to say that it turned out beautifully. The glaze is Amaco Blue Rutile, a goodie for sure, she says. Absolutely, I love blue rutile. And she said this was 3 really good coats as I wanted the blue to come through, which it did. And she created her own textured bisque stamps. So this is Donna's wonky pot. And there's a lovely picture of a close-up of the texture. really lovely handmade stamps that she's used on there. Lovely. And the blue rutile, as you say, has come out nice and blue. And then this is it with the planting, which is always nice to see. Doesn't that look lovely? Really pretty. So well done, Donna. That's a goodie. And as I say, thank you for sending me a message. You can do so via the email address, which is in the description below. The Wonky Pot template's available via the Etsy shop, so do take a look if you'd like to purchase one and make your own wonky, or even make one for a friend. So thanks for joining me today, short and sweet. I hope you're all doing okay, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video as we continue our journey with clay. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.